something, what was it called? Y'all will remember this. A down payment, remember that? Well, in this subprime mortgage deal, they dispensed with the down payment and they dispensed with any credit checks, and they gave 7.5 million mortgages in the US alone to people who had no earthly way to pay them back. 7 mortgages went to a stripper in Las Vegas. Literally true. And so their theory was, well, yeah, that may look risky, but we're going to lump them all together, and then we're going to sell them into the global marketplace and hook them up with these very complicated, possibly phony insurance policies. And when that assumption that it would be okay was tested, it failed, and that's what caused a global run on the banks. In any case, in the realm of foreign policy leadership and economic policy leadership, the U.S. capacity to lead the world has suffered a little bit. It can be reestablished. But my central point is the world needs a leader, and no other country besides the United States that I can see can play that role. So those of us who are Americans, because of our pride in what this country's meant to humankind for 2 centuries and more, and because we still are the indispensable nation, should see it as extra important that we reclaim the integrity and health and vitality of American democracy. A lot is at stake. The future is at stake.
Those of us in this room and many of us in Minnesota know how urgent it is to make changes to prevent the climate crisis. How are we going to convince those who are not on the same page?
Within this country?
Yes, or maybe around the world, but particularly this country.
Well, the same question was asked in my native Tennessee about civil rights. The same question was asked around this country about gay rights. And by the way, out of 32 state referenda, the only one to make the right decision is Minnesota. But before that happened, and before President Obama and Vice President Biden, just slightly before him, changed position. Now, you never did anything like that, did you? Before that, the conversation was won. And we have to win the conversation on the climate crisis. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Back when I was a boy in Tennessee in the summers, I remember when the conversation was won on civil rights. Because some of the guys in my circle of friends, one of them said something vaguely racist, and one of my other friends said, "Hey man, cut that out. We're not into that." And he didn't do it again. Not too many weeks ago, there was a story about a gay couple in line for a movie. And they were holding hands, and somebody in the line made a hateful comment toward them. And literally everyone else in the line turned on him and said, "Shut up, that's not who we are." They won the conversation. And that has to happen on climate. We are putting today, Earth Inc., 85% of all the energy for Earth Inc. comes from carbon-based fossil fuels. So today, we will put 90 million tons of heat-trapping pollution into the atmosphere as if it's an open sewer. And it turns out the laws of physics actually do work and do apply to this heat-trapping pollution, as the scientists said they would. And they trap enough extra heat every day. These calculations done painstakingly by the scientist Jim Hansen and a team of experts, the cumulative man-made global warming pollution now traps enough extra heat every day to equal the energy in 400,000 Hiroshima atomic bombs going off every day. Now, it's a big planet, but 400,000 Hiroshima bombs is a lot of energy every day. And it's that energy that's evaporating, that's disrupting the water cycle and evaporating more water off the oceans into the sky, and the warmer air holds much more of it. So when a downpour is triggered, the floods are bigger and the soil is dried out because it's even more powerful in pulling the soil moisture out. The ice is melting, so the sea level is rising. The warmer oceans also feed stronger windstorms, and it is threatening to destroy the conditions that have been conducive to the rise and flourishing of human civilization. We have never known, since the first cities were built 9,000 years ago, not long after the end of the last ice age, we have never known any climate pattern other than this one. Since agriculture first began in that same era, we've never known a climate pattern other than this one. And we are threatening it. And it is foolish, self-destructive, and functionally insane. And I think that people are beginning to connect the dots with all these extreme weather events. I think that after Superstorm Sandy, there was maybe a little bit of a tipping point phenomena there. I hope so. But please, I hope you will help to win that conversation.
Mr. Gore, a number of our best questions at these forums come from Minnesota high school students, so here you go, get ready.
Oh, are they mostly up here?
Yeah, they're right up there. Southwest High is here. From Southwest High School student, how can the U.S. government realistically do anything to halt the spread of hyper-inequality in wealth?
How can the U.S. government?
How can the U.S. government do something? What can the U.S. government do to halt the hyper-inequality?
Well, we can change the tax code and raise taxes on the very wealthy and reduce taxes on others. Somehow, the forces of